Hi, I'm Vicki Westling here with City Speaks. City Speaks is a show that's brought to you by Mayor Wilfred Rosas for the residents of the city of Dunkirk and the surrounding area to let you know what's going on, what's happening in our community. And today we have the honor and the pleasure of having with us our Chautauqua County Clerk, Larry Barmore. And Larry, you do a lot of things as the county clerk, but one of the most pressing things right now is what's going on with the Department of Motor Vehicles, the DMV. And there's been a lot of mixed messages. We saw Thursday it said we were going to open up on today, Monday 29th, and then on Saturday it said no, we weren't going to open up. Tell me what's happening and what's going on with our DMVs.
Well, thank you for having me here, Vicki. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to the people today. And it is very confusing, and I want to apologize to everybody. I am sorry for all the confusion. But last week we opened up for driver's licenses, permit tests, and things like that that we haven't been able to do for about 3 months now. I had the blessing of the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles. I had the blessing of the county executive, and things were working pretty well, but I assumed that since we've been doing social distancing for 3 months now, that people were well aware of how to maintain the proper distances, and I made a mistake. The pictures that came out in the newspaper on Tuesday did not show people waiting outside the DMV offices properly social distancing, and many people were upset over that, and I can't blame them. We got that corrected before Monday was over. We got lines on the sidewalk and everything, and for the rest of the week everything went pretty well, but our legal department was a little concerned, and they got together with the county executive, and even though we had planned on opening today completely, Friday afternoon, I got a conference call with the county executive, with the legal department, and after much discussion, we decided that the proper way to go about this is to make appointments. So, the county executive asked me if I would shut down the DMVs this week. We are so far behind on work at the DMV of stuff that people put in the drop boxes and mailed into us. I mean, the first month of the pandemic, people were just in shock, and hardly anything came into the DMV. And then once we finally convinced people to put stuff in the drop box, we had an avalanche. And we got so far behind because of just, 2 and 3 months worth of work coming in all at once here. And so the county executive would like us to get all that work done this week, which we're going to do. So if you've got something you haven't gotten back yet and it's at the DMV through the drop box or the mail, we'll be getting it out to you this week. We are in the process right now of setting up an appointment system. My deputy is taking care of that, and once we get that appointment system all set up, it'll be on our website, and
So
we're
now
going
what
to
does
put
that
an
mean?
announcement out.
What does that mean, the appointment system? So for instance, if I need my driver's license renewed or to re-register my vehicle, then I contact the DMV. Do I do that via telephone or do I do that via internet? How do I contact the DMV?
It's going to be on the internet. You'll
Okay.
have to make your appointments online. I resisted doing this before because I'm concerned that it isn't going to be real efficient. I mean, if you come in to renew your driver's license, it can take 10 to 15 minutes. If you need to take a test for a CDL license, it could take 2.5 hours. And I was very concerned that it'd be like going to the doctor's office. No matter what time you get there, we're an hour behind. Now, the doctor can stay past closing time and take care of everybody that has an appointment. We're not allowed to do that.
So, so there will be, if someone does not have access to a computer, so they can't use the internet, they're just going to have to wait. Is that correct?
It would appear that way, yes.
And so right now, our DMV offices are going to remain closed. Are you going to take appointments this week, or you make appointments for the following week?
We're going to start taking the appointments this week, but they'll be for next week
Right.
and beyond, yes.
So this week is pretty much going to be set for cleaning up all the backlog of those people who have mailed stuff in or who have been left in the drop boxes.
That's correct.
So don't go to your DMV this week because
That's
there's not going to be anybody
Right.
there.
Don't go to the DMV. Don't put anything, well, you can't put anything in the drop box because we've taped them shut. We don't want any new stuff this week at all, and we're sorry, but we can't get caught up in the old stuff if new stuff keeps piling in.
Okay. Now, what about the penalty? Will there be penalties assessed for someone? For instance, if my vehicle needed to be registered in May, and you haven't been open, and I've put it in the drop box, but it hasn't been come back to me yet, will I have a penalty?
No.
Okay.
I get Facebook messages from people all the time. Why are the police ticketing people for expired registrations when you say they've been extended indefinitely? I don't know if they're just playing with me or whatever, but I've spoken to both the sheriff and the head of the state police in the county, and both of them assure me their officers have been instructed, do not ticket people for expired registrations or expired driver's licenses, because the governor has extended both of them. And should some officer decide he wants to do it anyways, the judges all know what's going on, and it will be dismissed.
And we don't
you
know
go
when
to
that
court.
extension is going to end. Is that correct?
We don't. The governor has given us no date. I'm sure that the governor is going to set a date that's going to be, long enough in the future that people can get things taken care of.
So there'll be a reasonable amount of time.
And the thing is, once we reopen, if all you need is a simple registration renewal, mail it in or put it in the drop box.
Once the drop box gets untaped.
Oh, yes. I mean, a registration, they've been extended, indefinitely. It doesn't even matter if it takes you 2 months to get it back because you don't need it.
Right.
Driver's licenses, people, I understand. I get a lot of people saying, well, okay, that's good for here, but how about I'm driving to Kentucky? Am I going to get a ticket in Kentucky? Well, I can't answer that question, but this pandemic is worldwide. It's not just New York. I'm sure they have the same DMV issues in Kentucky that they have here, and everybody knows what's going on.
So now, right now then, for the week of June 29th through the end of this week, which would be July 3rd, nothing is happening inside as far as people coming in for services, because you're using that time to catch up on the backlog. Do you expect to open up on July the 6th?
I do expect to open up on July 6th. In fact, my question to the county executive was, okay, I agree with you that this is what we should do. In all reality, I don't work for the county executive. I am an elected official. I make my own decisions. But if the county executive and I don't work together on things, it's chaos.
Right.
I don't do anything unless I have the county executive's blessing. And I asked him when we got all done, when we agreed that this is what we're going to do this week, I says, PJ, are we actually going to open next Monday? You're not going to come back to me at the end of this week and say, gee, I've changed my mind, we have a different plan. He says, nope, this is it. The plan is get the appointment system in place. We will open next Monday for all transactions. So that's where we sit right now.
And so now, just when I'm looking ahead at this, I'm thinking, all right, I have an appointment for Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock on the 7th, and yet the DMV office is open and there's a line out the door.
There won't be a line out the door because we're not taking people on a first come, first served basis.
Okay.
If you have an 11 o'clock appointment, there shouldn't be more than 2 or 3 at the very most people there because several people will have an 11 o'clock appointment. I mean, there may be three
Right.
or four clerks in there
So-
taking care of people, and each one will have an appointment.
So let me clarify, you know, because sometimes things get a little bit confusing. So the appointments are going to be taken next week for the week of the 6th.
Yes. This week for the week of
Right,
the 6th.
right, for the week of the 6th. And so then you're going to have, will you have people walking in who do not have appointments the week of the 6th as well?
No.
So if you don't have an appointment for the week of the 6th, then there'll be no walk-ins, if you will, correct?
That is correct.
So the walk-ins would be probably the following week, hopefully.
I don't think we're going to have walk-ins for quite some time. The county executive was very firm on the fact that he wanted nothing but appointments in the
Okay.
foreseeable future.
All right, so make an appointment. If you need to go to the DMV, make an appointment, because even if you want an appointment for 2 weeks from now, or you want to see somebody 2 weeks from now, make the appointment now to do that, because chances are there will not take walk-ins. Is that
Right,
correct?
it's going to be quite some time. Yeah, and we've talked to quite a few other county clerks that are using this same appointment system, the same setup that we have, and they've been happy with it.
Okay.
I guess once we see how it works for ourselves, we might make a tweak or two here or there. But the one thing that we were told, and you know, I get emails all day long from all the other county clerks who are doing this, doing that. I don't even remember what county it was, but they were booked through the entire month of July. The first 6 or 7 hours they went live with the appointment system. It didn't take long to fill it up. But I want to reiterate, you know, if all you want to do is renew your driver's license, the governor has extended driver's licenses indefinitely. So if you don't get in right away, you know, the governor's word anyways is there's no problem.
Right. And can they renew driver's licenses by mail?
You cannot renew your driver's license by mail, but you can renew it online. But you
Okay.
have to go to the doctor and get an eye test, so you have to pay for an eye test. People choose to come to the DMV to renew their driver's licenses because we give them a free eye test. But if you want to go to your own doctor and get an eye test, you can do it online.
And so now, but the vehicle registrations you can do,
Vehicle registrations can be done online as well.
and they can be done by mail?
They could be done by mail, and they
Or
can
in the
be done by
Dropbox.
Dropbox when
Okay.
the Dropbox opens, yes.
Okay, and now, someone who needs to get a driver's license, a learner's permit for the young people who are turning 16, or they want to get what do they need to do?
Well, they need to make an appointment to come in.
Okay.
And the thing is the only, I don't want to say don't come in if you don't need this, but people who need to take a learner's permit test, which is mostly teenagers, but you know, there's adults that are getting the driver's license for the first time as well. People who want to take a CDL test, who want to get their CDL license for a job. CDL upgrades. There are many people out there that have CDL licenses, but they want to upgrade it to a different class for a different job they're getting, or add another endorsement. Those are things that need to come into the office. These are the things that we haven't been able to do for quite some time, which I would like to see coming in. Now, another thing that people, you know, will need to come in for is they bought a new car, another car, and they need to transfer the plates from the old car to the new car. Now, you can do that by mail and Dropbox, and that's what we've been doing, but it's been, you know, generally, if you get rid of this car and buy this other car today, you want to start driving the other car today. And that's usually because this car don't run, or you smashed it up or something. And I understand that. And these are the people I've really felt sorry for, because we have not been able to serve them because of what we've had to do.
Right.
Now you can bring it into the DMV, but the thing is you didn't know your car was going to break down today. And so you went and bought another car from an individual. Now you have to go make an appointment to come in and transfer your plates. And I don't know how far into the future that will be, which is why I wanted to open up for all transactions today, because that kind of thing would be taken care of. Yes, you may have to wait in line for an hour or two, but you could get it done today. And you're still not going to be able to, but I'm sorry, but that's the best we can do.
Well, and so for now, people need to understand. You need to make an appointment, and you need to make an appointment for future, because we don't know when we're going to open up again.
Right.
To have first come, first serve. So, and when people do come to the DMV, even if they have an appointment, they must still maintain the social distancing, as we're 6 feet apart. They must maintain the social distancing. Do they still need to wear a mask?
Yes, all people that come into the building will need to wear a mask.
Okay, so you have to wear a mask, have to practice social distancing. You have to have an appointment. If you don't have an appointment, chances are, you're not going to get in. Right?
Well,
that's just the way it is.
Chances are you will not get in.
Right. So, that's just the way that it's going to be for a while until we get through this process.
And once again, I want to apologize for everybody. I know all these changes are confusing. We've arrived at this decision after a lot of thought and a lot of consultation. I know it isn't working for everybody, and there's absolutely nothing that we can do that'll work for everybody except for open up the way we used to be, and we're just not allowed to do that.
Right.
And
I need to say also that one of the reasons that we're here today, we had talked on Thursday. There was information in the newspaper on Thursday morning saying everything was going to open up. You and I had talked on Thursday. We thought that was going to happen, and then Friday things changed. There was a different press release. I had a call at 6 o'clock Saturday morning. 6 o'clock Saturday morning saying to me, I just saw you with Larry Barmore on YouTube on City Speaks, and you said the DMV was going to be open, and it's not open. Well, that's because things changed Friday afternoon. So we're here today to hopefully clarify that. And again, and I apologize, it certainly was not an attempt to create any kind of fake news. We really believed that was what was going to happen.
Well, yes. I mean, okay, it was Thursday that you and I met. Wednesday afternoon, I had the release all ready to go, and I spoke to the commissioner's office and ran my plan by them, and they says, yes, it sounds good to us. You go right ahead. And I called the county executive and asked, told him what I wanted to do, and he says, yeah, that sounds good. Go ahead. I sent the release out. Thursday morning, I spoke with you. Everything was going just fine. Friday morning, I get a call from the county executive, and he says, we need to talk.
Right.
And here we are.
So it's a fluid process. Yeah. Things change, and I do apologize for any misinformation that came out, but it certainly was not intentional. So let us say that there. Larry, thank you so much. I know it's been a really tough time, and I know your clerk's office is busy, and I know you're short-staffed, and you still have people who are on furlough. Is that correct?
The good thing is the county executive gave me permission to call the furloughed people back to work. They're not starting till Thursday, so I only have them one day this week, but next week they'll be back.
Right. So, okay, great. So we're going to have people back in, so hopefully things will move along and they'll go more smoothly. So thank you for being here. I know it's been a real challenge for you. And I know we didn't get into all the other things that the clerk's office does, because I know you do more than DMV.
Well, the regular clerk's office is open fully, back to normal operations. Just have to wear a mask when you come in the office, and other than that, everything's fine there.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you so much for being here. Thank all of you for watching City Speaks. You can watch City Speaks daily in Dunkirk on Spectrum 1301. Catch it anytime on Dunkirk Access on YouTube. Watch it at your leisure. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you like. Send an email to cityspeaks@cityofdunkirk.com. You can send a snail mail to City Speaks, City Hall, 342 Central Avenue, Dunkirk 14048. And again, I offer an invitation to any of our elected officials or business leaders who would like to come in and appear as a guest on City Speaks. let me know. We'd be glad to have you. And thank you. Thank you for watching City Speaks, and have a great day.